For a day and a half?
Strangling her.
You can't sustain an assault one charge. It was a misunderstanding. Her word.
Charge, then I am to drop it.
Are you off on Catherine Land?
You say you didn't do anything to Miss Davies either. Was Catherine Lansing asking for it too?
What about Leslie Dawes in Seattle?
I have friends in the Houston DA's office. I'll give them a call.
Against my... No admission.
If you didn't kill them, how do you know where they are? And this is the solution you came up with. Guess what? Some psycho did do it. Let me see if I get this straight. Her ex-husband's second wife wanted to implant her frozen embryos.
And give birth to her children. A lot of people wouldn't be too thrilled about that.
It's just not a motive I run into much. You wouldn't have any actual evidence that she put him up to it. Well, let's make him want to. It's not murder to kill someone who hasn't been born. Embryologist Sarah Purcell was definitely murdered.
The ownership of the embryos became very contentious. I proposed several compromises.
Any takers, Judge?
Neither woman would yield. I see this kind of thing sometimes with pets.
You think they were motivated entirely by sentiment, or was there something in the will?
Something is an understatement. The bulk of Mr. Galvin's estate was put into a trust for the benefit of his children.
Children already born, or children born some divorced? He didn't want her having any more of his children.
I can understand that.
When they did the property settlement.
Francis, how are you treating you?
Not all bad in here. Losing a little weight. My cellmates teach me how to break into parking meters.
Saw your wife this morning.
She doesn't know anything.
She helped you case the clinic. The people there recognized her picture.
If she's a suspect...
Who's sick, Mr. Curran? We know about her arthritis. She had to quit her waitress job to dismiss. Says the facts still got the elements of felony murder.
Yeah.
You can sell property, but it's illegal to sell embryos.
It's legal.
Rights?
You don't like abortion rights?
Any woman with a brain ought to be able to figure out a better method of birth control. Which is more than we can say for Sarah Purcell. Galvin's net worth statement, $2.5 million, diminishes her financial motive.
But she loses sympathy with...
Clinic records, tanks, cryogenic history. There were 5 frozen Galvin embryos in that. Only had 1 implantation procedure. They never implant more than 5 embryos. Parents. The one couple we did find refuses to testify.
Please.
Abortion in the 2nd degree.
Destroying a partially developed embryo is arguably causing a miscarriage. It might not fly, but I will make...
Carry one baby.
So you aborted one of the fetuses.
They call it selective reduction.
A boy's best friend is his mother.
You have a better offer.
Expect him to bar...
He married you. He and his mother had a plan to kill...
Or defect. Dennis will admit to the show.
Mental disease.
The disease is Leanne Crosby.
So Mommy made me do it. You expect to get that by a judge?
Absolutely.
And it's still going on?
Yeah.
Yuck.
No question.
The police checked the LUDs for Leanne's cell phone. They confirmed a roaming call from Saratoga Springs.
Crosby, Alex Robson, all of it. Manslaughter.
On the package at the motel. You sent the gun to Saratoga Springs. The plane reservation for Alex Robson was for you. Doesn't get any simpler than that. 5, no parole recommendation.
He'll do at least 15. We can live with that.
Can we live with 2 years and minimum security for Joyce Pollock?
She planned a murder. Can't let her off with a fine.
I'll call a lawyer. Alice Simonelli.
Yeah, it was a 95 indictment.
One of 1,000. Got it. Okay. Right. Simonelli was driving some guy to a drug deal. The cops stopped her car, found the stash.
Major weight?
A little over an ounce.
And you...
He wouldn't name him. The whole thing turned out to be my fault.
Are there any other partners we should be looking at? She could be protecting them now.
We never found any of her drug pals. Legal aid was supposed to assign her to a work camp. She should have been out in less than a year.
I read her phone calls to one of their drug corners.
I know her lawyer. I'll put a call into him. Maybe if we toss her a big enough carrot. I'm in major felonies now. The Charlie Tyner case. You had cash with cocaine residue in your pocket.
The guy gave...
2 days before Tyner came to New York, Alice called a payphone in Spanish Harlem. It's a narcotics spot.
Alice Simonelli doesn't sound Hispanic.
Bay Ridge Italian. She joined the Paganos in jail. They're an equal opportunity street gang.
She's come a long way from Hunter College.
I tried to cut her deal 3 years ago.
What happened?
She wouldn't give up her partner, so I wouldn't plea bargain. And her parents weren't too happy. They wrote a letter to my supervisor.
Any chance she might have been telling the truth?
What, that she was just an innocent bystander? Look at her record since her arrest. If I had any doubts about coming down on her, she dispelled them.
Her parents still live in Brooklyn?
As far as I know.
Need Alice to cooperate? Maybe she'll listen to them.
She never mentioned any problems to you or one of the guards, a man named Charlie Tyner? 500 cash?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did he give you his name?
Luis, young Puerto...
But I don't have any Puerto Ricans working for me.
Puerto Rican clients?
Lots of industry.
Any of them named Luis? Okay, mid-20s, scar on his neck?
Oh, Luis.
I'll give you a heads up if we arrest him. You save me a trip to the clerk's office. I can always get his address from court records.
Do that!
Skating anywhere, unless I make it happen. Or maybe I write this up as manslaughter.
Have to talk to my lawyer.
The gun's not enough?
That's enough for Pacheco. I want to know what Alice has to do with this.
Stutes.
Great. Maybe we can double team her. Thanks. How did Alice know your brother?
Bought her some socks, gave her a nice job in the commissary.
Was he that nice to all the inmates? Yeah, but we're still not sure what it's about.
It's about
A deputy warden at Rikers just called to give me the heads up. They were rape.
For the last 3 months.
Maybe she didn't report it because it was consensual. Definition.
Yes.
For all we know, she traded sex with Tyner for drugs.
Approached her daughter in Prospect Park. Gave her a condom.
Condom? You got gas off the BQE a couple of miles from Prospect Park. Put you in the park. That's extortion. Witness tampering. Child molesting. Think of what a fascinating life you'll have in prison. Ex-guard, child sex offender.
Look, you don't understand. I had to do it. Charlie asked me to. And then Charlie said if we didn't keep her quiet, we'd all get fired.
Everybody? Without the gun, he walks.
To testify against Pacheco.
And give her man one? She was leeching favors off Tyner.
Alice?
No, I'm not.
You've got an excuse for everything, don't you?
Need a lift?
You go ahead, I'll call a cab. I need to decompress.
Want to talk about it? Or not? Whatever you feel comfortable with.
I was a freshman. He was a third-year law student. We were on a date. I never told anybody. I blamed myself. Not anymore.